I want to take a moment here to say something positive because there are going to be a lot of negative things that we talk about on this podcast. Man, that was a frustrating game against the Broncos. But wait, I was going to say something positive. Hey, this team is building continuity. They haven't fired the coach yet. I think they're going to hold on to Freddie. We're soon going to find out what everyone's opinion is on that. We know most of the Clevelanders' opinions on firing Freddie, fire everyone on the team, get a new quarterback, talk about the draft. I might have seen a text go by that said, should we talk about the draft this week? We will not talk about the draft. We're going to talk about this team and talk about how we can win against the Bills. But first, we must look back. Eric, you went to Denver. You saw the debacle in Denver. Or the disappointment in Denver. What did you see while you were out there?
Well, I'm going to start out with the positives, and that was mostly on Saturday. We went to a bar, and the Scottish Hammer was there. I decided to not be creepy and he was with a bunch of his dudes, so I didn't want to take pictures and stuff, and because he's younger than me also, I didn't want to be creepy about it. That was pretty cool.
Great start.
I met super fan Paul Brown, the London guy who goes to every game.
Yeah.
Nice guy, wore a kilt. Good for him. Not afraid. I met up with our high school buddy, Jeremy Priest, who got me this free Naughty Ties shirt. So make sure to go to Naughty Ties or online and purchase his ties. Also, nice. Our friends did a 5-team collegiate parlay, and thanks to Colorado State, we were victorious by the skin of our teeth.
Wow.
We had a $100 5-team parlay turn into $2,400. So
wow,
that was pretty nice. So
that is positive. Hey, what a trip!
That was a great Saturday and Sunday meeting up with Jeremy.
That's awesome, man.
So that pretty much paid for my flight and my ticket, which. All right, down to business. Yes, week before the Patriots game, I was very frustrated and angry and upset. I did not like the refs. I did not like some of the play calls. This week was kind of the opposite. I was sad. I was depressed. I was getting to that emotionally detached stage as I was in 2016 and 2017. There's absolutely no reason why they should have lost that game. Brandon Allen was looking like a better than average quarterback, which is not good. They couldn't tackle. They couldn't do anything inside the red zone outside of one Jarvis Landry catch and run. Nick Chubb was running 2 or 3 plays in a row, and then apparently he was winded, so you couldn't put him in at 3rd and 4th downs. I was sitting right there where that 4th and a half yard where Baker got the first down, and the refs just kind of kept taking a half a step back every 5 seconds until they decided to not give him the first down. Not that they would have won the game as a result, because I'm guessing the Broncos would have scored on the next drive anyways, the way the defense was playing. And yeah, last but not least would have to be the Jermaine Whitehead thing. Fortunately, I wasn't on social media most of the time after the game. We went out to dinner afterwards. And then I kind of woke up at very early in the morning because of the time difference. And I saw this tweets that were happening and everything. And then before we even went to breakfast the next morning, he was already released. So yeah. I'm hoping this is the low point of the season and the low point for many seasons, and they can rebound from this. But I do not feel a lot better about this team than I did on Friday. So, ready to turn the page. I've said this now at least 3 times this season against Tennessee, the Niners, and now this game. Ready to turn the page and go next week.
Yeah, Rich, again, some good analysis from the color guy on the broadcast. Rich Gannon said, hey, when you look back at this game, you're going to remember those 4 red zone drives that the Browns had and did not convert into touchdowns. You look back, it was probably that. It probably wasn't Baker not throwing it to OBJ on one of those final plays, even though that doesn't help. It's those 4 drives. You had 4 opportunities to score touchdowns. It's a totally different game. If you get one of those, Whitehead, I don't know. It's a difficult situation. Yes, you cannot go off on Twitter.
No, it's not a difficult
you
situation.
Cannot say,
you said on blood, I'm going to kill you on Twitter. I'm going to became sports writer.
Yeah, that's not good.
This team.
Yeah.
There's
I guess so.
nothing
You can't.
See ya.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I feel bad that is his response. His response to the situation is to scorched earth, to blow it all up, and just to say, I know this is not going to go well. Is you know, there's no going back from that. You're saying I quit, and that's what he did, and that's okay. Like, I guess his hand was broken. He wasn't playing well. He was frustrated. The team is frustrated, and he's quitting on the team. I think that's all it was.
Okay about Jermaine Whitehead, not his play on the field, not his response to his play on the field. On Twitter, there is nothing okay about Jermaine Whitehead. I am glad he will never be a part of this team again. But my takeaway from this game is that they lost to a guy who's a quarterback who last recorded a statistic in 2015 while playing at Arkansas. His last collegiate game was in 2015, a bowl game, I presume. I don't know which one. He hasn't recorded a statistic since then. He goes
There's no
out,
practice stats.
Nothing, man. I got nothing. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
12
Preseason.
for 20, 2 touchdowns against this defense that we all thought was supposed to be good. And that doesn't excuse anything. But this should have been like what they lost to Brandon Allen. They lost to Arkansas's, hero quarterback from 2012 to 2015. That's the last time this man threw a meaningful pass in a game that mattered for something. And they lost, and they lost pretty good too, right? Like, I mean, this wasn't some miracle 70-yard field goal in Denver. They just got beat. They got beat. The Broncos were the better team. Like, you can point to the fourth down sneak that looked like he got it on TV. You can point to some things here and there on some of those plays, missing OBJ for, the game tying or winning. I can't remember the score at this point on fourth down, but that's 4th and 4. You're going to throw the go route, the home run ball. I get not throwing that. This is not the team we thought it was. You cannot lose to Brandon Allen and the 2-6 Denver Broncos and expect this season to ever mean anything. Not when you buried yourself behind the 8 ball for the rest of the games, right? Like, teams can go out there and lay a stinker here and there. The Patriots just did it, and they can be fine. But this season is over. I am on to the NFL draft. Whenever you guys want to talk about Andrew Thomas, the offensive tackle from Georgia, or Derek Brown, the defensive lineman from Auburn, or Tristan Wirfs, the offensive lineman from Iowa, I am here for it. I am ready. Come on. But I guess nobody else is there yet. Tyler Bye from Wisconsin. I'm ready. This is what I live for. But assuming that we're not ready to do that yet, I was looking through and I saw something today from Next Gen Stats. That's at Next Gen Stats on Twitter. Excellent follow. The lowest passer rating when not under pressure. There's no offensive lineman that's going to fix that. He's the only quarterback in the league with more interceptions than touchdowns when not pressured. He is not very good, and I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's the league figuring out what he likes to do. I don't know if it's this system. All I know is something isn't working, and it's much easier at this point to change the system than it is to change the quarterback. And I think that's what needs to happen. I don't know if it's the system. I don't know if it's the play caller. But if you're looking for some sort of fix, again, I would start with taking something off of this head coach's plate. He is in over his head. He does not have it. He has no idea what's happening out there. There's no consistency. The plays get in late. He is doing too much. If it's obvious for somebody like me, then why is it not obvious for somebody like John Dorsey to say that what this team ought to be doing is running 2-minute drill, hurry up, no huddle offense, where the offensive coordinator calls down the play, they set it up, they call a couple of them in the huddle on like an incomplete pass or a first down, and they just do something that is not what they're doing. This whole everybody run vertically down the field and then don't throw it vertically down the field offense is just not working.
Here's my worry, and I don't think you'll hear this anywhere else, but here is the biggest coaching mistake that has occurred for this season. Biggest coaching mistake was letting go of Greg Williams.
Oh, boy.
And here's why. The Jets, even though we beat up the Jets, it wasn't a dominant game, but we beat them up. Greg Williams put out the blueprint as to how to beat Baker. And I think that a lot of teams looked at what the Jets did with changing the coverage at the line of scrimmage right before snap, changing the coverage as the play evolves. I think Greg Williams set the blueprint for how do you play against Baker Mayfield. The Broncos have the 4th-ranked defense in the NFL. So, yes, this was going to be a tough one. Their record wasn't good going into this game, but they still were the 4th-ranked defense in the NFL. I think coming up, the Bills have a good defense as well, which is horrible. We thought we were past, we have the toughest schedule in the NFL for the first 7-8 games. And now we're on the slope downwards, the downhill into the playoffs. And that wasn't the case.
Yeah, right.
We played against a really tough defense, and I'm just worried. I'm worried about Baker. I'm worried why he isn't having the success that he did last year. Eric, what do you think? Is there anything that you can point to say this is the big difference with this offense?
I mean, I just noticed he's thinking too much. There was a route, I believe it was in the second quarter. He had, I can't remember who was on the edge. It was about a 10-yard out, and he threw it right before he broke, caught it perfectly right down the field. And I said, why can't you do that more often? It's so easy. You can do this. You made these throws in your sleep. I mean, I don't understand this. Then you have this 4-and-4. He's hesitant. He's stepping back. He's falling back. He throws and the ball's not delivered. I mean, I don't know if it's, somebody saying, you got to wait to see if somebody's open, or if he's thinking mentally, well, what if I wait an extra half a second because I've been really releasing it so quickly last year? I might be able to hit Odell. I might be able to hit Jarvis. I don't know. But he doesn't seem like he's getting it out quickly and getting it out accurately, obviously. It didn't matter who it was last year. It didn't matter if it was the guy who plays for the Texans, the backup tight end, or if it was Darren Fells, David Njoku, any of these guys last year. He was hitting them on a rope. That first Jets game, boom, boom, boom. Here you go. And now this year, I don't know. He's just overthinking it, and he's not getting back to the basics, which is, again, frustrating. How many times we're going to use that word today? But it is. I mean, you have more talent, but if you can't utilize the talent, it's kind of worthless. And I really hope that they just really strip it down to the basics to say, hey, pretend this is basketball. You're the point guard. Pass it to whoever's open. And if it is that Carlson guy at the end of the game, probably wasn't the best idea, but maybe he was open at the time. I don't care. As long as they can catch it, we'll be okay with that.
Drew, what do you think about the distractions, especially the distractions with Jarvis, OBJ having to switch out their cleats, the other distraction of, or maybe this isn't a distraction, is distracting me, Baker's beard and his Fu Manchu and then mustache that lit the internet on fire. I want to see a next gen stat of Baker's stats with a full beard. Just keep a full beard in comparison to shaved or mustache or whatever the other crap you're doing. Just go full beard, dude. That's the missing link.
At Next Gen Stats, fan of the podcast, by the way. I know they're listening. Can we please get some next gen stats on Baker Mayfield with a full beard, because I think my guy Spawny here's onto something. I think it's like a Samson type of a thing, when he tries to trim the full beard, he's taking away some of his superpowers. So,
all right, we got to move on to the Bills, or we're going to blow our lids here.
I've already blown mine, man. It's already erupted.
I was going to ask the question, is anyone's job on the line against the Bills?
Yes!
I think the answer from Drew is yes. So let's do something else. How do the Browns paint a picture of the Browns winning this game? Drew, we'll go to you first. Could you paint that picture for me?
Yes, I can.
Some nice little trees.
Yeah, sure. The one tree is the only shining star on this team is Myles Garrett. He's rated as the best pass rusher in the NFL through 8 games. This is, courtesy. I forget who sent that on Twitter. I think that's a PFF, Pro Football Focus. Might have been Pro Football Outsiders. I can't remember where I got that stat. Sorry, but yes, he is the top-rated pass rusher in the NFL through the first 8 games, through the first 9 weeks of the season. So, he dominates, and he pressures Josh Allen, and Josh Allen is Josh Allen. They figure out a way to contain a running quarterback. The defense holds Buffalo to 10 points, and the offense comes out in no huddle, and they score 24 points. And the Browns win by 2 scores. That's the picture in my head, and that's honestly how I think these games are going to go, because they have more talent, but they have more talent than almost anybody they've played against, with the exception of New England and San Francisco. They have more talent than Tennessee, got blown out by them. They have obviously more talent than Denver with what's his name? I've already forgotten. I deleted it from my notes. I was so angry. Brandon Allen. They have more talent than them. They just there comes a time when eventually cream rises to the top, and unfortunately for this season, it's too late for that. But yeah, I think this is probably a pretty good game for the Browns to go out there and just blow somebody out of the water, and that probably happens, and it happens 2 or 3 weeks too late, unfortunately.
Eric, you said you'll be there at the game. What kind of offensive attack do you expect to see?
Trying to get back to 500 as a fan.
Impressive.
Well, over just this season, not overall.
Oh.
I'm well below 500 on offense.
Yeah, I guess prove the whole fan base at this point.
Yeah. I see the Bills as a similar team to the Broncos. They have a good defense. They have a quarterback that's not very good. They have an offense that doesn't make a ton of mistakes. And going back to the defense, they have a defense that you better earn those points and not settle for field goals. So do a George Costanza, do the opposite of what you did last week. I don't care. I don't care whatever that means. If it's the no huddle, great. If it's running Nick Chubb more, great. If it's running quick hitters and not triple reverses to Odell Beckham to lose 4 or 5 yards. Defensively, I was very underwhelmed by the front four against the Broncos. I was expecting a lot more sacks, so I'm hoping they could do more stunts. Mack Wilson had a solid game. I hope he can be utilized in the pass rushing scheme. Maybe put him through the A gap. They're gonna maybe commit a guy or two more to that, and then that would open up maybe Sheldon Richardson, maybe one of the defensive ends, and kind of keep that contained on Josh Allen. I know the running back from Baltimore, we kind of slowed him down from running. So maybe take that game plan and install that, at least defensively, against the Bills. Somehow the Browns open as a favorite. So there are people that think they can and should win this game despite having a much worse record than the Bills. So they should have a good chance to win, but they got to put it together. They got to, all be on the same page, all try to, go in the same direction. And I don't know, it just feels like everybody's pressing all the time. Every time you see a screenshot or whatever, a shot from the sideline, somebody's taking their helmet off. They have a deep sigh, probably like one of my deep sighs earlier in this podcast. You see unhappiness. I mean, there's not really any feelings of joy for any of these guys, what I'm seeing. So, yeah, just tell them to scrap it, get the job done, and worry about it next week.
Let's move on to the next season that's on tap. A team that's already started, the Cleveland Cavaliers. We checked in with the Cavs tonight. They had a loss to the Boston Celtics. And it's going to be a difficult season for the Cavs. As we talked about, John Beilein is going to be hopefully a good coach, a good addition. Drew was looking, Dylan Windler should be back pretty soon.
Yes, from what I'm reading, an article came out a couple hours ago, actually, that they are eyeing the November 14th home game against the Miami Heat for his potential return. So it should be pretty soon now. We only have another, 9 days until the start of the official Cleveland Cavaliers season.
Nice. We will slot that into future segments on the I Still Believe in Cleveland podcast. But the question that we wanted to bring up today was, we still have a rivalry with Boston. A lot of hard-fought games against Boston. They stole Kyrie Irving away from us. And we stole many Eastern Conference finals away from them. So we'll take that deal. So we still have a rivalry with Boston here. Both teams have changed a lot over the past couple of seasons. 3 years from now, whose team do you like the future of more? Do you think it's the Cavs who have a brighter future over the next 3 years, or do you think it's the Celtics? Eric, let's start off with you.
Well, if you'd asked me this question a year or two ago, I would say hands down the Celtics. But I looked at their roster beforehand. Yes, they have Kemba Walker. They have Taco Fall, who is very good at being tall. They have.
I don't know why that was so funny.
They have Enes Kanter, who's been on a lot of teams. And Gordon Hayward is a legitimate good player. Obviously, he had that terrible injury a couple years ago, but he is a good player. But I mean, I feel like they lost a lot of good pieces these last few years. And I think the luster has come off Brad Stevens a bit. I think everybody was expecting championship for them right around this time, either a year ago, this year, next year. So I don't really know where they're going with this. I don't really feel like they have, like I said, they have a couple good young players, but I don't think they have a good team right now. Cavs have a lot more youth in place right now. Aforementioned Windler, Porter Jr., Garland. I mean, they don't have that experience right now, but I like Beilein as a coach. Like I said, Brad Stevens was brought in to do that for the Celtics, and I think Beilein just gets the most out of his players. And where they're at in 3 or 4 years, who knows if he's even going to be the coach, but I'm hoping those guys have developed within that time frame so they can get to that next level. So, I kind of like the Cavs' future now, but having Kobe Altman having an actually extended contract for once under Dan Gilbert, maybe, he's going to have that confidence and picking right players.
Star-driven league. Celtics have Kemba Walker. Cavs have Kevin Love. Do you think either one's going to be around 3 years from now, Drew?
Yeah, I think Kemba Walker will be in Boston for a while. I think he's been looking to be the guy in a big city. So yeah, I think he'll probably stick around there. I don't think that Kevin Love will sign another contract with the Cavs, and I believe his contract will be up after that. So I don't think he'll be around. I'd probably be inclined to move him for some assets at this point, just because I know the team's probably not going to win the NBA championship this year or next, and then you're pretty much getting to the end of his deal. So I think he has a contract that makes some sense to try to unload, because you get essentially, if you deal him around the trading deadline this year, you get, the team that acquires him gets, a year and a half of his services. So anyway, I think the Celtics certainly have the best roster right now, and I would take Kemba Walker just because of what he's proven at this point. But I'm very intrigued. This isn't meant to downplay the Cavs. I'm very intrigued by the Sexland backcourt. I'm very intrigued by some of the pieces that they have. Kevin Porter Jr. and my guy over here, Dylan Windler. Like there's some pieces that you can build around, and if they can get that small forward, that wing type of elite level athlete superstar in the draft, if those ping pong balls go their way next year and they get that number 1, number 2 overall pick, I think you can see this Cavs team really make a lot of noise to where they would be the better team in 3 years. But I think the Cavs need one more lottery type of a thing, lottery windfall, if you will, to really take that next jump to where they can win the Eastern Conference again.
College basketball is going to be interesting this year. They had the season tip-off tonight where they had teams 1 through 4 facing off. I think there was Duke, Kansas, Kentucky, Michigan State.
Yeah.
All
Same
battling
4
each
teams
other
every year.
it's a totally different season. There isn't that name recognition, that hype that Duke had with Zion Williamson. It'll be interesting to see who comes out of college basketball this year. Is there a star player? It will be interesting to see who comes out of this previous draft as the star players. It's you sort of forget Zion a little. we all hope that will happen. It's a little weird that Zion's not been playing. He seems like a star, but his stock is pretty low right now. Maybe it's just a good time to buy, and he is going to be one of the stars of the league for years to come. Hopefully he gets healthy and there isn't the concerns that people have about his weight and everything like that.
Yeah, if you can buy stock in Zion Williamson as an NBA prospect, I'd be buying right now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, many Cavs games to play, especially when Dylan Windler is back out there. But yeah, it's a growing team. Going to be very interesting to see how this team evolves and who will be the stars. Will it be that Sexland backcourt that Drew talks about? Will be fun. So let's finish up this episode of the podcast. Let's talk some NFL picks. And Drew, you always kick us off here. Oh, he's got a what is that statistic, Drew?
That is 7 wins. 7 wins, 2 losses. I'm from the future. This is just free money. I'm sitting next to a big pile of money, and I'm literally handing it out to our viewers for free. Here are your picks. Go ahead and take another 2-1, maybe even a 3-0 week to the bank. We're going to take the Thursday night football game. The Chargers are -1. I'm going to take them. I think they win that game. I think they're the better team. They're playing against the Raiders. I think the Chargers have more talent. I'll take them. For my lock of the week, I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers laying 5. I know we're getting close to over here, so take that one. And I can't believe I'm saying it, but I will take the 2-6 Cleveland Browns laying 3 points to the Buffalo Bills, who have only lost 3 games. I will take Browns -3. I just have a feeling that the Browns are finally, now that it's too late, going to erupt.
Look at that positivity. Eric.
There you go.
Well, this could be another good week or bad week for me. I am taking the Oakland Raiders. Give me that point. Chargers had a big win against the Packers, so they're due for a letdown. The lock of the week is the Bruce Arians game. Tampa Bay laying 4.5 over Arizona. I am going to have him, new team versus old team. And I was still shocked. Maybe it was whatever it was, but I was sitting in the airport at a TV, seeing the Browns with the minus and numbers after that before next week's game, and I said, nope, they're not a favorite, not buying it. Give me the Bills. I'll take the points +3.
Uh-oh, he's flipped. He's negative Eric again.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going with the Chargers. Let's go with Chargers. I think they're ramping up on their season. I think the Raiders are going down. Chargers had a good team last year. Hopefully they are, for their own sake, and their future in LA's sake, they will be a good team. My lock of the week, I'm just going to go a little bit strange here. A game that no one outside of the New York area will be watching. The Battle of New Jersey. What the Giants are -1, I believe.
I saw it -2, but okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Give or take.
I'm going to go with the Giants. Daniel Jones, the most boring quarterback in the NFL, is going to lead that team to a victory. Sam Darnold, I'd like to see Sam Darnold fail.
Jeez, man. What did he do wrong?
He's compared to Baker.
What does he mean?
No questions. Baker, better quarterback, bigger future. And then, of course, we're going to go with the Browns. They're going back home. Home cooking is going to solve this. Nick Chubb is going to solve this. I think this is the exact same thing I said last week. Nick Chubb was going to have a big game, and they're going to win. But it's going to happen this time. This time that they're going to be playing at home. They're going to be ready to win. Ready, Freddy, to win. So.
Sounds great.
Thank you, guys. This is going to be really bad if the Browns lose. I think we'll have to do a draft preview.
I'm ready. I am here for the draft preview.
Yeah.
I am not. Let's keep this Browns team going. Let's talk about a victory here next week. Eric, Drew, thank you for joining. Let's talk again after a Browns win.
Thanks for having us. Go Browns. Need a win, even though I picked against them.